Please come.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Abhimanyu, please give a brief introduction to yourself.
Sir, my name is Abhimanyu Malik. I'm born and brought up in Sonipat, Haryana. I have done my BTech in Mechanical Engineering from YMCA University of Science and Technology, Faridabad. I have done my MA in Political Science from IGNOU. Since December 2016, I have been working with NABARD, and currently I'm posted as Assistant General Manager in Rohtak Cluster Office as Officer in Charge. And as part of UPSC Civil Services 2022, I have been allocated DANX. And so my hobbies include playing table tennis, shooting volleyball, and singing.
It's not mentioned in your Danix.
Sir, actually, I had got the service as part of the reserve list, so it came later. Although, sir, in the modified DAF, I have filled it.
Okay, all right.
Perhaps, sir, this is not the modified version of it. Thank you.
Abhimanyu, you have a very nice name. Mythological character or somebody well known in the history? Abhimanyu. What is your take on the name? Mythology or history?
Sir, I believe that he is one of the characters in the epic Mahabharata. Although, sir,
My question is mythology or history?
Sir, as far as the historical evidences are concerned, there is very limited knowledge about the war and its various characters. Although a war did take place, sir, but as far as the historical certainty of it is concerned, sir, there
Okay.
are no conclusive proofs.
All right. Now, Abhimanyu, something very peculiar about the character. Why? What? How do you look at Abhimanyu as a character? Either way, Mahabharata.
I believe, sir, he is the epitome of courage and bravery. The kind of show of courage that he showcased in the war is something that is what he's well known for. Even despite knowing that he may not be able to be alive, still he took the risk to go into the
Abhimanyu, one question which has always troubled me is that you fight a battle that you can win unless it is becoming absolutely essential and you can't escape it. Where was the need for him to fight Chakravyuh?
Sir, that is true that one should always choose their battles wisely, but the kind of circumstances there were on that day, sir, none of the Pandavas knew to enter into Chakravyuh.
Listen to my question. Where was the need for him to fight Chakravyuh? Even if they have formed the Chakravyuh, unless they are attacking the Pandav armies, they're there in the field. Let them remain there. You don't have to get into the Chakravyuh.
Sir, perhaps in order to save the lives of many of the soldiers because of the formation, and only he knew the art of traversing through it, sir, he chose to. Although, sir, I'm not very certain about the exact situation back then.
All right. Let's go beyond. Sonipat. Sonipat is very well known as an education center now. There are two or three universities there.
Yes, sir.
Which ones?
Sir, as far as the government universities are concerned, it has the first women university of the state of Haryana, BPS Mahila Vishwavidyalaya. It has a very famous engineering university, Sir Chotu Ram. Yes, sir. And sir, it houses private universities like OP Jindal, Ashoka University, SRM University.
It has the first Haryana's women's college there,
Yes, sir.
university, Sonipat. And yet, Sonipat also is notorious for crime against women.
Yes, sir. I believe, sir, that is a very unfortunate situation that crime.
Why? Unfortunately, yes, okay.
Yes, sir.
Why is the crime rate against women so high in Sonipat, despite the fact that the first women's college was established in Sonipat?
Sir, there are several reasons to it. First being that the gang culture that is prevalent in the NCR region. So it is the crimes against women are also offshoot of this thing, sir. Second, sir, yes, there has been an entrenched patriarchy which is much more prevalent in Sonipat than in other parts of Haryana, I believe. Again, sir, it is also the reporting of the crimes which is on the higher side, sir, when we talk about Sonipat, because it happens to be more of an aware and.
Okay, I got. A last question. What is the unemployment rate amongst youth in Sonipat?
Sir, although I'm not having the exact statistics for Sonipat district itself, but it happens to be over 10% as per the estimates, sir, that we get from Haryana government. Although, sir, as far as CMIE is concerned, so they have pegged the rates at even higher levels, 25 to 30%.
In Haryana or Sonipat?
Sir, in Haryana, in general, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Abhimanyu, you worked for 4 long years in NABARD.
Yes, sir. I've been working there since 7 years, sir.
Put in there. So NABARD, what is the CDO ratio, and why? What is the CDO ratio of various states? I think that is one of the major work which NABARD is looking into.
Yes, sir. Sir, CD ratio stands for credit to deposit ratio. It is basically the ratio between the loans disbursed to the deposits undertaken by the particular bank. Now, sir, we see a regional variability as far as the CD ratio situation is concerned. If we talk about Haryana and Punjab, sir, the CD ratio stands near about 90 to 100% across these states. Whereas it is further higher if we go to the southern India, where it is almost 120, 130%. And also major hubs like in Maharashtra, if we talk about Mumbai or Delhi, it is further higher at 200, 300%. But sir, if we go to the eastern India, it is less than the stipulated average of 60%, including, sir, parts of Odisha and Madhya Pradesh in central India. Sir, in northeast also, the CD ratio happens to be around 30 to 40%, or even less in some of the states. Sir, UP Bihar, it's around 50-60%.
So it is nearly whatever is the required ratio of 60%.
Sir, 60% happens to be the ideal ratio, although, sir, 80-90% is what I believe is more desirable.
And what is the priority sector for rural? While you were 7 years you were there, what is the priority sector within rural learning system?
Sir, if because I have worked in Haryana for most of my tenure, sir, what I found in these across these places was that the priority sector is heavily loaded towards the short-term agriculture credit. Now, although the part of lending, if we talk about almost 67-68%, is what the banks are lending in the priority sector, which is well above the 40% requirement. But sir, that is mainly concentrated into the KCCs, because 70 to 80% of the people are into agriculture and farming, sir. Sir, KCC, Kisan Credit Card, sir. Yes, sir. So we see a kind of bulging towards the short-term agriculture loaning, whereas, sir, if we talk about the agri-term lending and also housing, education, export-related credit, that has not taken that well off, sir, in these places.
So now you have joined the Delhi and Andaman Nicobar Civil Service. This is
Sir, I'll be
ongoing
joining
battle.
in.
Danix, have you joined or not?
Sir, I'll be joining this month, sir.
You've not even joined. Okay, then you must have looked about the ongoing controversy between the Lieutenant Governor and the Chief Minister.
Yes, sir.
What exactly is the problem and what has been the progress so far?
Sir, I believe there are two aspects to the issue. First is the constitutional domain. Now, Delhi happens to have a very peculiar constitutional arrangement, with Parliament having the powers to legislate on every subject and exclusively on land, law and order, and police. So, in that domain, sir, I believe Parliament enjoys that upper hand. But sir, the tussle is more of political in nature, I believe, because of the different parties ruling at the Delhi and center. So these kind of things that we see, sir, is more of, I believe, not following the healthy conventions rather than any legality into the things, sir. Thank you, sir.
What exactly YMCA stands for?
Sir, YMCA stands for Young Men's Christian Association.
So it is an association of young men, Christian association. But the president, the secretary, everybody else, none of them is a young man there. Are you aware of it?
Sir, initially when it was formed, so its mandate was providing or inducing Christian values to the youth. So perhaps, sir, the name came from there in the 1840s in Europe. Now, sir, obviously the association per se, it houses all people across all ages and groups, sir. But the mandate is mainly towards the youth only, their holistic development.
You are from Haryana.
Yes, sir.
Recently, there was an announcement regarding storage of grains. Who did it and what it is?
Sir, the Honorable Prime Minister has announced this storage of grains initiative. And mainly, sir, because first, there is still shortage of storage infrastructure in the country as per as the requisite requirements. Second, also to provide the opportunity for the farmers and their cooperatives to store the grains at their vicinity and also get the good market differential when the prices are up. So this was the mandate of it, sir.
Could you link it up with a strategic diplomacy?
Sir, since food security happens to be a very strategic domain these days, especially in the wake of the two wars that are happening and the supply chain disruptions that are happening across the world, so food security has assumed a strategic dimension to this. So perhaps, sir, if we have good scientific storage capacities in the country, that is not just going to augur well to our domestic needs, but we can also have a large bargaining power in the international strategic diplomacy as well.
Since you are going to join the annex, etc. What is the difference between the 15th of August flag and the 26th of January tricolor?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about this.
On 15th of August, what happens? The tricolor is hoisted. It goes up.
Yes, sir.
And what happens on 26th of January?
Sir, it is already up. It just we just unfurl it.
So, but why? Why this difference?
Sir, perhaps because on 15th of August we got independence and we removed the Union Jack with our tricolor as our national flag, and basically it is the moment of uh, uh, taking away a flag and setting up our own flag. So that's why, sir, we hoist it. And on Republic Day, sir, we already had our flag flying high and with pride across. So it's just the unfurling of it that happens.
You are partly right and partly you have to explain. Did we become independent on 15th of August?
Yes, sir.
Do you know when Akbar took over, he took the oath in the name of the then king of the place from where he had come. So the allegiance was there. Here the allegiance was to our colonial masters. How did we become independent?
Sir, the formal rule of the British India that ended on 15th of August, and all the powers that were vested in the British Crown, sir, that was also transferred to the Dominion of India back then. Although, sir, we did not have a separate constitution, so we were still governed by Government of India Act 1935. So, if we talk about, sir, we didn't become a republic, which we eventually became on 26th of January. But still, sir, we got freedom from the British rule.
We became a republic. What is the date given when the constitution was adopted?
Sir, 26th of November 1949.
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
Abhimanyu, shall we continue on the conflict theme, the war, the way we began? The Hamas-Israel conflict, right? Ongoing, right? So, how do you assess it moving forward? Is there any solution in sight?
Sir, I believe that the conflict is going to remain for some time, and that too in the active domain. Although there have been efforts for a ceasefire, at least for the Ramadan month, that will be ensuing shortly. But sir, since Israel has committed itself to obliterate and eliminate Hamas once and forever, so they have not given any assurance of not attacking the Rafah, that is the last refuge. So they still believe that there is the infrastructure of Hamas now is concentrated in Rafah. So they are not going to stop till the time they eliminate it, even if there is a temporary ceasefire and some mutual transfer of hostages. So I believe, sir, it is going to be there for some time in the future.
So, can Hamas be eliminated? Is it an objective which can be achieved?
I believe, sir, it's a very difficult objective to be achieved because most of its leadership has already had flee to other countries. So, if the leadership and also the arming of it is being done by groups like Hezbollah and Iran, so I believe that is not completely possible because anytime they can regroup themselves and again establish their base in Gaza. So I believe, sir, it is difficult at least in the present times.
Is Hamas a terrorist organization?
Sir, Hamas is a terrorist organization because of the kind of tactics that it is dealing in. So it always was a militant organization. The kind of maneuvers that it is doing, so it has been designated as a terrorist organization.
Many would argue fighting for freedom.
Indeed, sir, this may be perspective, and many of the countries, especially if we talk about in the Middle East and Northern Africa, they do not deem Hamas as a terrorist organization. But again, sir, if we talk about the kind of activities that they are dealing in, I believe, sir, they are a terrorist organization.
You're aware there's a new government in Pakistan, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, headed by who's the Prime Minister?
Shehbaz Sharif.
Shehbaz Sharif, right? Yeah, and he's just taken over, right? There's some messaging going on in the public domain, right, between Pakistan and India, entirely in public domain. What we can see. Are you aware how the exchange of messages have been taking place?
Sir, our Prime Minister has congratulated him for taking over as the Prime Minister of Pakistan, sir. But I'm not aware about the exact context of the messaging, sir.
No, when Shehbaz Sharif took over, what did he say?
Sir, he mentioned Kashmir and he also mentioned that before restoring the status of Jammu and Kashmir, like in the de-operationalization of Article 370. So until that happens, no talks can take place with India. He also mentioned that freedom of Kashmir and it's is also of pivotal importance to Pakistan.
And then, just final. So when he mentioned all this, what was PM's message then? PM, you just said that, right?
Sorry, sir, I need to read more upon it.
You just mentioned it now. What did Prime Minister do in public domain?
Sir,
Congratulated him.
so to my limited knowledge, sir, he congratulated.
In one word, right? Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
And he again responded. Shabash, did he respond again?
Sir, he thanked our Prime Minister for this.
So, public domain. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Abhimanyu.
Thank you, Abhimanyu. Can you please wait outside for 2 minutes? We'll call you for the feedback.
Thank you, sir.
Before you sit, Abhimanyu, your tie should be longer.
Sure, sir.
Okay? Are you going to wear the same shirt?
No, sir. I'll be wearing a different shirt.
Be careful that this is a casual shirt.
Yes, sir.
It should be formal, better collar.
Yes, sir.
Tie should go up to the belt.
Right.
Okay? Better.
Thank you, sir.
Did you polish your shoes?
Sir, I did it in the morning, but unfortunately, sir, because of the dust around.
Okay. Where are you coming from?
Sir, I'm coming from Sonipat.
Sonipat. So you will go back to Sonipat from here.
Yes, sir.
In any case, with the EP, it shouldn't take very long now.
Yes, sir.
Is that better? How do you go?
Sir, I take the normal NH1 route, but then there are some divergences.
Okay. Drive or remember?
I drive by one, sir.
Okay, Abhimanyu, let us now get back to your interview. When is the interview scheduled?
Sir, on 8th of April.
8th of April, and today is 10th. So you have practically a month to go.
Yes, sir.
And how many mocks have you scheduled before the 8th of April?
Sir, maybe 3-4 more mocks.
Okay. And the earlier, how many mocks have you done?
So 7-8 mocks I have taken.
And what did they tell you? Any assessments from them?
Sir, different kind of feedbacks were there, sir. But one common feedback was that that you can be more structured and more precise at times. And then, sir, there were feedback related to various domains like IR and the banking part. Or so in these areas, sir.
All right. And what is your own assessment of the interview today?
Sir, it was a good interview, I believe, sir. Not a very good one, but then it was.
Where would you rate yourself in terms of good, very good, outstanding?
Sir, somewhere between good and very good.
Okay. We would actually rate you between very good and outstanding
Thank you, sir.
at present. Because I think in terms of your domain knowledge, I mean, nobody knows everything, but domain knowledge is quite good. You are confident of yourself. You know the areas, some of the answers you gave clearly demonstrated that you have read and you have been able to internalize the information that you get to build into your answers. So, on the whole, we were quite satisfied with your domain knowledge and with the information that you gave. Personality wise, pleasing personality, you're smiling just enough. You're not smiling all the time, but just enough really to give impression of somebody who is confident, who is there, and who is together, who is able to basically think on the spot and everything. Uh, Before we go into each specific question, and I won't do that really, that would take too long. But one thing that you should do really is you talked about precise and structured. I think there is a scope for that. And if you are able to become more precise and structured, then you'll be there at the outstanding level. You will have graduated further too, and you can be 100% certain that you will make it. And how do you do it? You have a tendency to basically start answering the question even before the question is finished. It's basically because you think that you have anticipated, you know the panelist's mind, but sometimes there can be a googly. A panelist can say something entirely different at the last minute. You should allow the question to be finished. It will be useful that rather than launching into the answer straight, take a pause, 10 seconds. Think about how you're going to start. Because the impact you make in the beginning of the answer is the most important one. And then you can basically add to it in terms of arguments, etc. Keep your answers brief. If you dilate too much, the panelist will lose interest. He will lose interest because he has in mind asking certain thing, but he has a limited time. We all have 5 minutes only. So if you give very dilated answer, we can only ask you two questions. Otherwise, we can engage in a conversation. Let the panelists engage in a conversation because you are quite good to have an effective conversation if you give time. Okay?
Yes.
So precise, don't dilate, sharper, and just think a bit before you start.
Yes, sir.
Give you I think most of the questions, Hamas, Government of India independence, unfurling, etc., you were all quite good, really. You were all there, really. Nothing to say. Sometimes there are catch questions. Abhimanyu was supposed to be a catch question. How you think? Because we all know that the values you represented was different. So if you had waited for a moment before you starting to talk about why, etc., you could have simply said that Mahabharat was the war of the values. It was not a war for the territory.
Yes, sir.
It was a war for systems, ideologies, values. And Abhimanyu represented certain values for which the Pandavas were fighting.
Yes, sir.
And then you go on through valor, bravery. And therefore, even if the Chakravyuh doesn't do anything except being there, it's a challenge. You have to meet the challenge.
Yes, sir.
So you see, the way I'm able to turn around the answer into something which becomes question. That is what you can do if you just take 10 seconds to think.
Yes, sir.
And you have displayed sufficient thinking, you are very good, really.
Thank you.
Number two, last advice. Don't do too many mocks.
Right, sir.
They will confuse you. Everybody will say different thing, but no mock can change a person. You will remain what you are. You are only basically just training yourself to give your best at the interview. But it's the best of yourself. If you tire yourself out, it will not be the best.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do two more mocks, space them out, and don't tire yourself,
Sure, sir.
and don't confuse yourself.
Definitely, sir.
Okay, all the best to you.
Thank you.
Anything that you need to ask any of the panel members?
Thank you, sir.
All the best to you then.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you, sir.
And you are very good on Sonipat.